Baku. She was ready. When I arrived, my business trip to Ekaterinburg had dragged on for 2 weeks. Every evening Lena called and complained that she missed me, that the house was empty, that she wanted to see me. Her voice sounded strange, almost strained, but I chalked it up to exhaustion. She worked as an administrator at a beauty salon, had a floating schedule, and her nerves were frayed. On Wednesday, she sent a message. When exactly are you coming back? I need to know the day and time. It's important. I replied that my flight landed at 8 on Saturday evening. She sent a heart emoji and didn't write again until morning. On Thursday evening, my sister Katia called. We weren't particularly close, only talked a couple of times a year, so her call surprised me. Hey, when are you coming home? She asked without any introduction. Saturday. What? Just, okay, never mind. Call me when you get here. I tried to find out what was going on, but Katia had already hung up. Strange. I tried calling back, but she didn't pick up. I sent her a message. She read it, but didn't reply. An unpleasant feeling settled in my chest, but there were only 2 days left until the weekend. I could wait. On Friday morning, Lena sent a voice message. Vadik, are you definitely coming on Saturday? I'll get everything ready. Hurry up. I'm tired of waiting. Her voice sounded excited, almost feverish. I thought she was planning some kind of surprise, a romantic dinner or something like that. We'd been married 4 years, but the last year had fizzled out. Routine had taken over. Maybe she wanted to shake things up. On Friday evening, I got lucky. Negotiations ended early, and I managed to catch the last flight. At 10 in the evening, the plane landed at Domodedovo. I didn't call Lena, deciding to surprise her. I imagined how happy she'd be to see me a day early. The taxi got me home in 40 minutes. I went up to our 5th floor, took out my keys. The apartment lights were on, and soft music drifted through the door. Something jazzy, not our usual. Lena loved pop music, but this was saxophone. I opened the door quietly. The hallway smelled of her perfume, the expensive kind she only wore on special occasions. My old jacket was hanging on the rack, but under it I noticed something dark, leather. A man's jacket. Not mine. My heart dropped. I froze. The music was coming from the bedroom. I walked slowly down the hallway, peeked into the kitchen. On the table were 2 glasses, a half-empty bottle of wine, 2 plates with leftover food. Candles were burning down. I approached the bedroom. The door was slightly ajar. I looked in. Lena was sitting on the edge of the bed in a silk robe I'd never seen before. Her hair was down, makeup bright. She was looking at her phone, typing something. On the nightstand were men's watches. Expensive Swiss. I pushed the door open. She looked up. Her face went pale. Vadik, you were supposed to... I made it early, I said. My voice sounded strange, icy. Where is he? She jumped up. The robe fell open. Underneath was lace lingerie, also unfamiliar. Who? She tried to act confused, but her hands were shaking. Don't lie. Whose jacket is in the hallway? Whose watch? Who did you dress up for? Lena lowered her eyes. Then she lifted her chin defiantly. He left half an hour ago. You're late. Something came over me. Not even anger, more like icy calm. I walked to the closet, grabbed her bag, and threw it on the bed. Pack your things. Now. Where am I supposed to go at 11 at night? She tried to fight back. This is my apartment too. The apartment is in my name. My salary paid the mortgage for all 4 years. You worked for yourself, for clothes and salons. So pack your things and get out. She opened her mouth, but I interrupted. Want a scandal? Go ahead. I'll call your parents. Tell them what kind of daughter they have. Your mom will be delighted to know. Lena grimaced. Her relationship with her parents was complicated. They lived in Saratov, visited once a year. In front of them, she played the perfect wife. Fine, she said through clenched teeth. I'll take my things and leave. But I'll come back tomorrow for the rest. Don't come back. Tomorrow I'll pack everything and send it to your friend Nastia. You'll be staying with her, right? She didn't answer, just started frantically stuffing clothes from the closet into her bag. I went to the kitchen, poured myself a glass from their bottle. The wine was sour, cheap. I waited for her to finish. 20 minutes later, Lena came out, dressed in jeans and a sweater. No makeup, hair in a ponytail. She looked pathetic. Vadik, maybe we can talk? It's not what you think. Get out. She sobbed, grabbed her bag, and left. The door slammed. I was alone in the apartment, which smelled of someone else's perfume and betrayal. I sat on the couch, finished the wine. My phone vibrated. It was my sister. Are you home yet? Call me, we need to talk. I dialed her number. Did you know? I asked immediately. Katia sighed. Yes. I saw them together at a cafe a week ago. They were sitting very close. I wanted to tell you, but didn't know how. Thought maybe I was wrong. Maybe he was just a colleague or a friend. Friend. I snorted. Yeah, very friendly. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Should have called right away. It's not your fault. Thanks for warning me, at least now. We talked a little more. Katia offered to come over, but I refused. I wanted to be alone. I didn't sleep all night. Walked around the apartment, replaying the details in my head. I remembered how Lena had been staying late at work the past few months, how she had new dresses, how she started looking at her phone more and hiding the screen when I came near. The signs were there. I just didn't want to see them. On Saturday morning, I called a lawyer, an old friend from university. He'd help with the apartment paperwork. We scheduled a meeting for Monday. At 10 a.m., Lena texted, "Can I come by for my things?" I replied, "No, I'll pack everything. I'll give it to Nastia." She called. I declined. She called again. Again. After the fifth call, I blocked her number. I spent the whole day packing her stuff into boxes. Clothes, cosmetics, books, all sorts of little things. I found a hairpin under the bed that wasn't her size. Threw it in the trash. In the closet, I found another set of lingerie with tags still on. That went in the trash too. By evening, everything was ready. 8 boxes. I texted Nastia, Lena's friend, whose number I had. "Hi, can you pick up Lena's things? You know the address." Nastia replied an hour later. "What happened? Ask her. I'll be expecting you tomorrow. Anytime." On Sunday morning, Nastia came with some guy. I helped them load the boxes into the car. Nastia glanced at me with a guilty look. "Vadim, I didn't know, honestly." She blurted out when the guy walked to the car. "It doesn't matter anymore. She says it's my fault because I introduced them at the party, but I didn't think they'd." I raised my hand. "I don't need the details. Just tell her not to come here again. Any questions, do the lawyers." Nastia nodded and left. On Monday, I met with the lawyer. Dmitry Olegovich listened to my story and shook his head. "Divorce, that's clear. The apartment is yours, that's a plus. But if she demands compensation for jointly acquired property, there might be problems." "What property? I bought everything. Formally, you were married. She can claim she contributed to the household, to repairs. Do you have receipts, documents?" "For major purchases, yes. TV, fridge, sofa, all in my name." "Good. File for divorce on the grounds of infidelity. Any witnesses?" I thought about it. Technically, there were no witnesses. I only found the traces. But then I remembered my sister. Katia saw them together at a cafe. Can she be a witness? We can try. Even better if you find the lover himself. Men usually don't want to deal with court. They confess quickly. I smirked. Find him. Easier said than done. I didn't even know who he was. Dmitry Olegovich shrugged. Check her social media. Usually, everything's there. That evening, I logged into her page on one of the social networks. Her password was simple, her mother's birthday. I knew it. She never bothered with security. I scrolled through her messages. In her DMs, I found a conversation with an Andrei Kovalev. The correspondence started 3 months ago. At first neutral, then increasingly warm. The last few weeks, there were open hints, plans to meet, discussions about how they'd spend time together while her husband was on a business trip. Andrei Kovalev, 36, works at some financial company. In the photos, a smiling guy in a suit. His page is public. He likes posting photos from restaurants and the gym. I copied the conversation, took screenshots, sent them to the lawyer. On Tuesday, I filed for divorce. On Wednesday, Lena found out. She called from someone else's number. Out of habit, I picked up. "What are you doing?" she screamed. "Do you want to shame me? You shamed yourself. I'm just dealing with the consequences. Vadim, let's talk normally. It was a mistake. I was weak. You're always traveling. Don't shift the blame to me. You cheated. You planned it. I got tired of waiting. Remember? You rushed me to come back, so he could leave before I got home. But I came back early." She fell silent. Then, quieter, "What do you want? Money? I'll pay, just don't divorce me. I don't want your money. I want you out of my life. I have nowhere to live. I'm staying on Nastia's couch. Not my problem. Andrei Kovalev can take you in. Or is his wife against it?" Lena gasped. "How do you know about? Did you hack my page?" The password was simple. "And yes, he has a wife and 2 kids. You're both something else." She started sobbing into the phone. I hung up. A day later, Dmitry Oligovich called. News. Andrei Kovalev got in touch. His wife found out about the affair. She made a scene. He's ready to testify and admit to the relationship with your wife. In exchange, you don't tell his employer. Deal, I said. I don't need to make trouble for him. Let him sort out his own family. Excellent. Then the divorce will go quickly. 3 weeks at most. And that's how it went. A month later, I was free. Lena tried to get money from me, hired a lawyer, but the messages with Kovalev settled everything. The court sided with me. The apartment stayed mine. No compensation, no alimony. Clean. The last time I saw Lena was in the courthouse hallway. She looked tired, older. She approached me. Vadik, I really am sorry. It was stupid. You know what hurts the most? I asked. Not that you cheated, but that you rushed me. I got tired of waiting. You got tired of waiting for your husband to come back from a 2-week trip. But I waited 4 years for you to grow up, get serious, appreciate what we had. Which of us was more tired? She lowered her eyes and walked away. We never saw each other again. 6 months passed. I sold the apartment, bought another one in a new neighborhood. My sister introduced me to her colleague. We went to the movies a couple of times. Nothing serious yet, but it's nice. Recently, Nastia messaged me, asked how I was, apologized again for what happened, told me Lena moved out, is renting a room on the outskirts. She and Kovalev broke up after a month. His wife forgave him, and he went back to his family. Lena works at another salon, lower pay, life is harder. I didn't feel sorry for her. Everyone chooses their own path. She chose quick pleasure and impatience. I chose to move on. Sometimes at night, I remember that evening, how I walked into the apartment, saw the candles, the glasses, her in that robe. How she said, "You're late." No, Lena, I wasn't late. You were late to realize what you had.